When I bought my 200 acres of land just outside of town, I thought it would be my retirement paradise. Half the property was forest, half was lowland marsh with a creek winding through it. It was perfect for hunting, fishing, and just enjoying peace away from the city. I had the deed recorded, the boundaries surveyed, and the taxes paid. The property was mine, no question about it. Or at least that's what I thought, until the HOA next door decided to help themselves. It started when I noticed construction equipment rolling past my fence line. At first, I assumed it was just roadwork, but then I saw survey stakes on my property. A week later, bulldozers were cutting into my land. I drove down to the site and flagged down the foreman. "You're on the wrong parcel. This land is mine." The guy shrugged. "Talk to the HOA. They're the ones who hired us," said they owned this section. I stormed into the HOA office with my deed in hand. Karen, the HOA president, didn't even look up from her laptop. "Oh, we already reviewed it," she said with a smug smile. "Your paperwork is outdated. This land was reassigned to the subdivision for development. You'll thank us later. Your property value is about to skyrocket." I couldn't believe the audacity. "You can't just take land. That's theft." She waved me off. "Sue us if you like. By the time it's resolved, the homes will already be sold." And that's exactly what happened. Within 6 months, the HOA had slapped up 58 cookie-cutter houses right on my marshland. Families moved in. The HOA collected dues. And every time I tried to fight it legally, Karen buried me in delays, appeals, and red tape. What they didn't realize, though, was that I knew this land better than anyone. The creek running through it had once flooded every spring, until I built a small dam and series of channels to keep the water contained. That dam was on my side of the property, completely under my control. And when the rainy season came, I made a decision. One night, after a week of heavy storms, I opened every gate on my dam. Water surged into the lowlands like a tidal wave. Within hours, the entire subdivision-turned-neighborhood was knee-deep in water. By morning, the houses looked like they were sitting in the middle of a swamp. Lawns were ponds. Cars were half submerged. Basements were ruined. The HOA panicked. Karen called me, screeching into the phone. "You sabotaged us. You'll pay for this." I calmly read her a section of my deed. Owner retains all water rights and flood control easements pertaining to the marshland. In other words, I was fully within my rights to manage my land however I saw fit. And since the HOA had illegally built homes on that marsh, their flooding problem wasn't my fault. It was theirs. City inspectors were called. After reviewing the permits, or lack thereof, they discovered the HOA had falsified documents to push the development through. Not only were the houses illegally built, but they were also built on a designated floodplain. Within weeks, the homeowners sued the HOA for fraud. Karen was forced to step down. The entire subdivision was condemned, the homes abandoned, and the HOA dissolved under mountains of debt. And me? I got my land back. Well, sort of. The houses were gutted and useless, so I bought them at foreclosure for pennies, bulldozed them myself, restored the marshland, and now, every spring, I sit on my porch, sipping coffee, watching the water flow back through the land the way it was always meant to. The HOA thought they could steal my property. Instead, I drowned their empire and took it back one floodgate at a time.